Hello dear students, today we will discuss NTA NEET test number 24 physics solution. Okay, NTA NEET test number 24 solution. Here is the first question. In the first question, we have the ratio of minimum to maximum wavelength in Balmer series of hydrogen atom is. Okay, तो यहाँ पर देखो बेटा, बार्मर सीरीज के लिए वेवलेंथ का फॉर्मूला क्या होता है? 1/λ r 1/n1 square minus 1/n2 square. Okay, but for the hydrogen atom, the minimum wavelength 1/λ minimum. Okay, n1 will always be 2 for the hydrogen atom. Therefore n1 means 2, hence n1 square 1 by 4 minus 1/n2 square. Here we are talking about the minimum, therefore n2 should be maximum. N2 maximum means it can be infinite, therefore 1/infinite, and the value of 1/infinite is 0. Hence 1/lambda minimum will be equal to r by 4, because 1/infinite is equal to 0. Okay, 1/lambda maximum, what I have told you that n1 will remain same. तो यहां पर बेटा क्या हो जाएगा? 1/4 minus 1/n2 will be 3, therefore 1/n2 square 9. Hence it will be equal to 9 minus 4/36, therefore 5/36. Okay, now we have to calculate ratio of minimum to maximum. Therefore lambda minimum upon lambda maximum. 1/lambda maximum means 5/36. 1/lambda minimum is r by 4, therefore lambda minimum will be equal to 4 by r. Okay, here we have also r, that is r, 4 by r, hence r will be cancelled out, r will be cancelled out, and 4 9s are 36. The correct answer will be 5 by 9. The first one is correct answer. Moving towards next question. In the next question we have ionization energy of helium ions at minimum energy position is. Okay, तो देखो बेटा यहाँ पर क्या पूछ रहा है? एनर्जी की बात कर रहा है, ठीक है। और हम लोग बात करें अगर एनर्जी की, तो बोर्स एटम से हम लोग एनर्जी की वैल्यू क्या जानते हैं? एनर्जी कैन बी डिफाइंड En is equal to minus 13.6 Z square upon n square इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट. ओके, अब यहाँ पर किसके लिए बात कर रहा है? हीलियम आयंस के लिए बात कर रहा है. तो हीलियम आयंस के लिए Z कितना हो जाएगा? 2 हो जाएगा. एंड इट इज ऑल्सो टॉकिंग अबाउट द मिनिमम एनर्जी. देयरफॉर द मिनिमम एनर्जी मीन्स n शुड बी मिनिमम, एंड मिनिमम n मीन्स इट इज नॉट 0, because if it is 0 then energy will be 0, hence minimum means 1. Therefore En is equal to minus 13.6 into 4 divided by 1 electron volt. Okay, so 13, 4 6 are 24, 4 3 are 12, and 12 to 14, 5 1 4 1 are 4 5. The correct answer is 54 and point electron volt. Hence En is equal to 54.4 electron volt, and correct answer is C. Next question क्या है? A ball impinges directly on a similar ball at rest. The first ball is brought to rest by the impact if half of the kinetic energy lost by the impact, the value of the coefficient of restitution is. Okay, so coefficient of restitution can be defined as E is equal to mod of V2 minus V1 divided by U1 minus U2। देखो बेटा यहाँ पर क्या हुआ, एक बॉल यहाँ पर सपोज था और एक बॉल यहाँ पर था। इसकी इनिशियल वेलोसिटी U1 है, इसकी इनिशियल वेलोसिटी क्या है, U2 है। अकॉर्डिंग टू द क्वेश्चन U2 क्या है, रेस्ट पर है, U2 क्या है, रेस्ट पर है। ये वाला बॉल क्या होगा, यहाँ पर आकर टकराया तो इसकी फाइनल वेलोसिटी यहाँ पर V1 क्या हो गई, देखो रुक गई। ठीक है, अकॉर्डिंग टू क्वेश्चन ब्रॉट टू रेस्ट बाय द इम्पैक्ट, तो V1 क्या हो गया, रुक गया। बट ये बॉल क्या कर देगा, मूव कर देगा स्टार्टिंग। तो यहाँ पर जब ये बॉल मूव करेगा तो इसकी वेलोसिटी कितनी हो गई, V2 हो गई। तो इनिशियली काइनेटिक एनर्जी, टोटल इनिशियल काइनेटिक एनर्जी हमारे लिए कितनी हो जाएगी, 1/2 m1 u1 स्क्वायर प्लस 1/2 m2 u2 स्क्वायर। बट u2 is 0, therefore total kinetic energy, initial kinetic energy 1/2 m1 u1 square. In the same way, final kinetic energy will be equal to 1/m1 v1 square plus 1/2 m2 v2 square. Now look, according to the question, v2 will be exist, but when initial ball strike on the second ball, then it will become in the rest. Therefore v1 is equal to 0, hence kf will be equal to 1/2 m2 v2 square. Now therefore change in the kinetic energy delta k will be equal to 1/m1 u1 square. Change in the kinetic energy means minus 1/m1 u1 square minus 1/2 m2 v2 square. Now look, according to the question, half of the kinetic energy lost by the impact. Half of the kinetic energy means half of this energy. Hence, according to the question, 1/2 m1 u1 square will be equal to 1/2 m1 u1 square minus 1/2 m2 v2 square. Okay. अब यहाँ पर क्या हो गया, 1/2 will be cancelled out. Therefore 1/2 m1 u1 स्क्वायर 1/2 m1 u1 स्क्वायर, इसको इधर ले आते हैं, माइनस m1 u1 स्क्वायर विल बी इक्वल टू m2 v2 स्क्वायर नेगेटिव। ओके, ये हो गया कंडीशन। अब उसके बाद देखते हैं यहाँ पर सोल्यूशन में क्या मिल जाएगा हम लोग को बेटा, v2 की जो वैल्यू मिल जाएगी सॉल्व कर लेना। ठीक है, v2 विल बी इक्वल टू v2 स्क्वायर विल बी इक्वल टू u1 स्क्वायर अपॉन 2, हेंस v2 इज इक्वल टू u1 अपॉन अंडर रूट 2। ओके, तो v2 इज इक्वल टू कितना मिल जाएगा, u1 अपॉन अंडर रूट 2। बाकी v1 की वैल्यू कितनी है, 0 है, u2 की वैल्यू 0 है। देयरफॉर e विल बी इक्वल टू मॉड ऑफ v2 मींस u1 अपॉन रूट 2 माइनस 0 डिवाइडेड बाई u1 minus 0. Hence E will be equal to 1 upon under root 2. The correct answer is C. अब आ जाते हैं बेटा नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन पर। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन में हमारे पास क्या है, इन द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन वी हैव अ मैन वे 60 kg. A man weigh 60 kg is standing on the trolley weighing 240 kg. The trolley is resting on frictionless rails. If the man starts walking on the trolley with a velocity 1 meter per second, then after 4 seconds his displacement relative to the ground is. तो बेटा यहाँ पर डिस्प्लेसमेंट इज इक्वल टू क्या हो जाएगा, स्पीड इज इक्वल टू क्या होता है, डिस्प्लेसमेंट अपॉन टाइम। Therefore डिस्प्लेसमेंट इज इक्वल टू कितना हो जाएगा, स्पीड इनटू टाइम। लेकिन यहाँ पर क्या दिया हुआ है, ट्रॉली की स्पीड दी हुई है 1 मीटर पर सेकेंड। अब ट्रॉली की स्पीड दी है मींस वी हैव टू फाइंड आउट द स्पीड ऑफ द मैन। Therefore we know that according to the conservation of energy P is equal to mv, but mv means m1 plus m2 v, m1 plus m2 v. Okay, the trolley is moving 60 kg, it is moving with 1 meter per second and weight is 60. Therefore 60 into 1 will be equal to 40 plus 240 V. Hence 60 will be equal to 300 V, and the value of V is equal to 1 upon 5 meter per second, means you can say 0.2 meter per second is equal to 0.2 meter per second. Therefore relative velocity of the man, relative velocity of the man, relative velocity will be equal to 1 minus 0.2, that will be equal to 0.8 meter per second. Hence displacement will be equal to 0.8 speed into time 4, therefore 3.2 meter. Correct answer is C. What will be the maximum speed of a car on a road turn of radius 30 meter if the coefficient of friction between the tires and the road is 0.4? तो बेटा मैक्सिमम स्पीड का फॉर्मूला जो है v स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू म्यू आर g. Okay, now what is given that mu is equal to 0.4. according to question, mu is equal to 0.4, radius of the turning is 30 meter, and g we know that 9.8 meter per second square. Therefore v square is equal to 0.4 into 30 into 9.8. okay, v square will be equal to 3 4s are 12, therefore 12 into 9.8. okay, मल्टीप्लाई कर लेते हैं, 12 8 जा 96 and 12 9 जा 108 and 9. तो ये जो टोटल वैल्यू वी आर गेटिंग 117.6 meter square per second square. Now v will be equal to 117.6 meter per second. Now look at here, 117 means 10 into 10 100 and 11 into 11 121, means the answer should be lie between 10 and 11, and एक ही ऑप्शन दिया हुआ है बेटा, that is 10.84 which is lie between 10 and 11. ठीक है, अदरवाइज आपको कई आंसर होते तो आपको स्क्वायर रूट एग्जैक्टली निकालना पड़ता. therefore v is equal to 117.6 meter and v is equal to 10.84 meter per second. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन में क्या है, द पीरियड ऑफ ऑसिलेशन ऑफ मैग्नेट इज 2 seconds. If it is magnetized such that pole strength becomes 4 times, then its period will be. Okay, so T is inversely proportional to magnetization, and according to question, T is inversely proportional to means T is equal to 2 seconds. Hence 1 upon under root 4 will be equal to 1 upon 2. Therefore T is equal to 2 upon 2 will be equal to 1 second. Here is correct answer. In the next question we have current passing through 1 ohm resistance is 0, means इसके corresponding जो current pass हो रहा है that is 0, then EMF E is the value of E. अब देखो यहाँ पर we will apply Kirchhoff's loop rule. Okay, so according to Kirchhoff's rule the net potential difference must be 0. इसका मतलब क्या हो गया, ये और ये इक्वल होने चाहिए. Hence the potential difference applied across the resistance 2 ohm is 6 volt, and due to this E will be equal to 6 volt. Hence electromotive force, the value of E must be 6 volt. Okay, therefore you can say 6 volt minus 6 volt will become 0. Therefore the correct answer is 6 volt. Here is the next question. The circuit shown here is used to compare EMF of two cells E1 and E2. Okay, E1 is greater than E2. The null point is at C, means here you can say the null point means V is equal to 0. When the galvanometer is connected to E2, the null point will be, when the galvanometer is connected to with this one, what will be happened with null point? Let's consider that this length is L1 and this length is L2. We know that E1 will be equal to phi L1, and for the electromotive for the EMF E2 will be equal to phi L2. Okay, and we know that E1 is greater than E2, therefore L1 will also be greater than L2. Hence what will be happened, if it is connected with E2, the null point will shift towards the L1 point, means towards the left side. So to the left of C. Here is correct answer. Moving next question, what we have in the next question? In the next question we have, in a series LCR circuit. What is series LCR? The voltage across the resistance, capacitor and inductor is 10 volt each. What given that? V is equal to, the voltage is given that 10 volt. If the capacitor is short circuited, the voltage across the inductor will be. तो कैपेसिटर को अगर शॉर्ट सर्किट कर दिया गया है, इसका मतलब रेजिस्टेंस R किसके बराबर हो जाएगा? इंडक्टेंस और कैपेसिटेंस के बराबर हो जाएगा. ओके, अब यहाँ पर जो फॉर्मूला अप्लाई करेंगे करंट का, I इज इक्वल टू V अपॉन अंडर रूट R स्क्वायर प्लस XL square. The value of V is given that 10, R is equal to XL is equal to XC, hence R square plus R square, therefore 10 upon 2R square means under root 2 and R बाहर ले लिया. ठीक है, तो ये क्या हो जाएगा, I और R को क्रॉस मल्टीप्लाई कर देते हैं. R will be equal to 10 upon root 2 and IR will be equal to V. Therefore the correct answer is 10 upon root 2 and the value 10 volt in the form of volt. Here is next question. In the next question we have, a small metal wire is dragged across the gap between the poles of the magnet in 0.4 second. What is given that? Change in the time, delta t is given that 0.4 second. Okay, then EMF induced in the wire is, EMF induced delta phi upon delta t. Delta phi is given that 8 into 10 the power minus 4 divided by 0.4 t 4 to the, hence E will be equal to 20 into 10 the power minus 4, or you can say that 2 into 10 the power minus 3 volt. The correct answer is D. The next question. In the next question we have, an infinitely long line of linear charge density lambda is shown in the figure. The potential difference VA minus VB between the points A and B is. Okay, क्या पूछ रहा है? पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस बिटवीन द पॉइंट A and B. पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस को अगर डिफाइन करना है तो पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस कैन बी डिफाइंड एज चेंज इन द पोटेंशियल एनर्जी VA minus VB is equal to integration from where? From B to A E vector dot dr. Okay, and with negative sign, because we know that E is equal to minus dV upon dr, as we know that E is equal to minus dV upon dr. Therefore V is equal to, or minus V is equal to integration of E dot dr. Hence V is equal to integration of E dot dr. Okay, with minus. तो यहां पर वैल्यू हो गई. अब नाउ फ्रॉम द इलेक्ट्रिक from the Gauss law. From the Gauss law, E vector dot dr will be equal to VA minus VB is equal to minus, the change is from 2R to R. Hence, B means 2R, B means 2R, and the value of A is R. So from 2R to R, and E vector dot dr is lambda upon 2 pi epsilon naught R dr. Okay, as we know that E vector dot dr will be equal to lambda per unit yani charge per density upon 2 pi epsilon naught R dr, or you can say E is equal to lambda upon 2 pi epsilon naught R. Hence lambda means charge density, 2 pi epsilon naught, all of them are constant. Therefore VA minus VB will be equal to minus lambda upon 2 pi epsilon from 2R to R 1 upon R dr, and integration of 1 upon R, integration of 1 by x dx is equal to log x. Therefore VA minus VB is equal to minus lambda upon 2 pi epsilon naught log R, upper limit R, lower limit 2R will be equal to minus lambda upon 2 pi epsilon naught upper limit log R minus lower limit log 2R. Log A minus log B means log A upon B. Okay, log A minus log B formula will be equal to log A upon B. Hence log A minus log B. Therefore lambda upon 2 pi epsilon naught log R upon 2R, R will be cancelled out, and we have minus, we have minus lambda upon 2 pi epsilon naught log 1 by 2 minus. Okay, therefore correct answer is not even given that. Therefore log 1 log A by B, we can write it minus of log 2. Log 1 by 2 means log 1 minus log 2, and the value of log 1 is 0, hence minus of log 2 exists. Minus and minus plus, therefore lambda upon 2 pi epsilon naught log 2. Okay, therefore correct answer A is the correct answer. Here is the next question. In the next question we have three capacitance of 4 microfarad are to be connected in such a way that the effective capacitance is 6 microfarad. This can be done by connecting them all in series. If we are connecting all in series, means 1 upon 4 plus 1 upon 4 plus 1 upon 4 in series. First case series, hence 1 upon 4 plus 1 upon 4 plus 1 upon 4 will be equal to 3 by 4, and equivalent capacitance C equivalent will be 4 by 3. So all in series means wrong. All in parallel, 4 plus 4 plus 4 12, this one will also be wrong. Okay, 2 in parallel and 1 in series. Okay, 2 in parallel means 4 plus 4, B means 12, C 2 in parallel. 2 in parallel capacitance means 4 plus 4, 2 in parallel. Therefore 1 upon 8 plus 1 upon 4 will be equal to 2 by 8. So 3 by 8, hence 8 by 3, this one is also wrong. 2 in series and 1 is parallel. Therefore 2 in series, D. 2 in series means 1 upon 4 plus 1 upon 4, hence it will be equal to 1 by 2. Therefore equivalent, C equivalent will be 2. 2 in series and 1 is parallel. Therefore C is equal to 2 plus 4 will be equal to 6 microfarad. So what will be happened here? Two are connected in series and one is connected in parallel. 4, 4 and 4. Therefore resultant will be 6 microfarad. Hence correct answer is D. Now here is the next question. Question number 13. Two satellites of masses m and 9m orbiting a planet in a circular orbit of radius r. The frequency of revolution will be in the ratio of frequency of revolution. First, frequency is equal to 1 upon time period, and time period from Kepler's third law, time period t square is directly proportional to r cube. Means the time period is independent of the mass of the satellite. Time period is only depend upon the mass of the planet, not depend upon the mass of the satellite. Therefore, if we are not changing orbit radius, hence time period will remain the same. If time period is going to be remain same, then frequency also be remain same. Hence frequency is independent from the mass of the satellite. Therefore f1 upon f2 will be equal to t upon t. Hence 1 is to 1. Correct answer is C. Here is next question. Let omega be the angular velocity of the Earth's rotation about its axis. Assume that the acceleration due to gravity on the Earth's surface has the same value at the equator and the poles. An object weighed at the equator gives the same reading as reading taken the depth d below earth surface at pole d is less than the value of d is. Okay, what is saying? G effective due to rotation, g effective due to g effective due to rotation will be equal to g effective due to the depth d, and we know that g effective due to rotation will be equal to g minus r omega square will be equal to g1 minus d upon r below the earth. If we are going above the earth, then it will be equal to g1 minus 2d upon r. Okay, now solving these values, g minus r omega square will be equal to g minus g d upon r. G cancel out, minus cancel out, hence r square omega square will be equal to g into d. Okay, therefore the value of d will be equal to r square omega square upon g. R square omega square upon g. Correct answer is A. What in the next question? In the next question we have two identical conducting rods are first connected independently but simultaneously between two vessels, one containing water at 100 degrees Celsius and other containing ice at 0 degrees Celsius. In the second case, the rods are connected in series and then the combination is connected between the same vessel. Let Q1, Q2 be the rate of melting of ice in the two cases respectively. The ratio Q1 upon Q2 is. ओके तो यहाँ पर रेशियो ऑफ Q1 अपॉन Q2 वी हैव टू फाइंड आउट. अब बात कर लेते हैं बेटा रेशियो ऑफ Q1 और Q2 आएगा कैसे. सबसे पहले तो हम जानते हैं रेट ऑफ करंट, हीट रेट करंट जो होता है I, रेट ऑफ हीट ऑफ करंट, आई एम सॉरी, हाँ, rate of heat of current, heat current can be defined as dq upon dt, and q is equal to ml, where L is latent heat which is constant, therefore L dm upon dt. Okay, this can be defined as. Here H. Here is the H is equal to dq upon dt, which will be equal to L dm upon dt. And we also know that H is equal to change in temperature divided by thermal resistance, theta 1 minus theta 2 divided by R. Therefore, delta theta upon resistance is equal to L dm upon dt. Here there is no effect on the temperature, delta theta is going to remain same, hence, and L is also constant. Therefore, dm upon dt is denoting by Q. Hence we can say that Q is inversely proportional to only upon R. Okay. Now, what will be the value of Q1? Q1, in the first case, you can see that combination is connected between the same vessels. The rods are connected in series, and then combination are connected in the same vessel. So, if the rod are connected, in the first case, rods are in parallel and then series. First case, rods are connected, two rods, sorry, I have to look out that where the rod, two identical conducting rods first connected initially, but simultaneously one is another containing head. In the second case, the rods are connected in the series and the combination are between the same. Okay, so in the first case, rod are connected in parallel. In the second case, rod are connected between the vessel is series. Therefore, in case of parallel, for parallel combination, effective resistance will be equal to 1 upon R plus 1 upon R, means R by 2. Hence, Q1 will be equal to 1 upon R by 2. In the same way, Q2, they are connected in series, means 1 upon 2R. Hence, Q1 upon Q2 will be equal to, which will be 2 by R, 2 by R divided by 2R. Okay, divided by 2 by R, and Q2 is equal to, sorry, Q2 is equal to 1 by 2R. R will be cancelled and it will goes in the upward 4 by 1. Hence, correct answer is C. What in the next question? In the next question, we have an ideal gas is taken from the cycle ABC as shown in the figure. The total work done by the gas during the cycle. Okay. Therefore, total work done. Total work done means total work done area of ABCA. Area of ABC means triangle. Triangle means 1 upon 2 base into height. Therefore, 1 upon 2 base 3V minus V. 3V minus V means this one is 2V. Height 4P minus P 3V. So, therefore, 1 upon 2 into 2V into 3P. 2 cancel out. Therefore, 3PV. Which one is the correct? D option is correct. Okay. Further, the next question. A refrigerator absorbs 2000 calories of heat from ice tray. If the coefficient of performance is 4, then work done by the motor is. Okay. Now, what is the coefficient? Coefficient can be defined as output energy, means Q2 divided by work done. Hence, work done will be equal to W is equal to Q2 upon efficiency. Hence, W is equal to Q2 is given that 2000 divided by coefficient of viscosity, that is 4. Okay. Coefficient of viscosity, that is 4. Hence, it will be equal to 500 calorie. Now, the answer is given in joule. Therefore, W is equal to 500 into 4.2 joule. 1 calorie is equal to 4.2 joule. Hence correct answer 0 0 5 to the 10 5 4 0 2100 joule. First answer is correct. What we have in next question, a vessel is filled with an ideal gas at pressure of 10 atmospheric pressure and temperature 27 degree Celsius. Half of the mass is removed from the vessel and temperature of the remaining gas is increased to 87 degree Celsius. Then pressure of the gas in the vessel will be. ओके तो यहाँ पर प्रेशर पूछा गया है कि जब मास को हाफ कर दिया गया, रिमूव कर दिया गया, यानी मास को m/2 कर दिया गया, तब क्या होगा. सो फ्रॉम आइडियल गैस ऑफ इक्वेशन वी हैव PV is equal to nRT, but this equation is not in the form of mass. Therefore we know that n is equal to mass upon molecular mass. Hence P1 V1 is equal to m upon m R T1. According to question, T1 is equal to 27 degrees Celsius, which will be equal to 273 plus 27 means 300 Kelvin. Okay. Now PV upon T, P1 V1 upon T1 is equal to m upon capital M into R. Okay, we have all the values. What we have, P1 and T1 volume is going to remain same. Therefore P1 is given that 10 upon 300 multiplied by volume remains same. Hence m upon capital M into R. In the same way T2 is given that what is 87 degrees Celsius. 87 degree Celsius, which will be equal to 360 Kelvin. Therefore P2V upon T2 is equal to m upon m into R. We have to find out P2, but what we have same, we have temperature, we know the temperature. Therefore P2 V upon 360 will be equal to m upon m R. This is the equation 1, this is the equation 2. Equation 1 and equation will become equal when as you can see that I think mass, half of the mass is removed from the gas cell, the temperature is remaining, increase the pressure of the. Now we will equate, but what will be happen if we are going to equate, means this mass m has become m by 2. Therefore this one will be divided by 2. Okay, m is equal to m by 2, or we consider this m dash. Hence now equating these two equations, we will get P2V upon 360 multiplied by 2 is equal to m upon m into R. Now put the value m upon R from equation 1. Hence we get 2P2V divided by 360 is equal to 10V divided by 300. V cancel out, 0 0 cancel out, 1 0 1 0 also will be cancel out, 18. Hence P2 is equal to 18 upon 3 is equal to 6. Therefore correct answer is 6 atomic mass pair. Hence pressure is the correct answer is B. Now moving towards next question. In the next question what we have, a conductor is carrying current I. The magnetic field intensity at the point O, which is the common center of 3 arcs is. Okay, the magnetic field can be defined as, B vector is equal to mu node, magnetic mu node I upon 4 pi r into angle. Okay, because sin theta 1 plus sin theta 2, but here is theta is very small, due to that we will take as theta. Okay, now look, for this condition, current is flowing in anti-clockwise direction, therefore current will be positive. For second one, current is moving in clockwise direction, therefore current will be minus I. In the same way, for third position, current is moving anti-clockwise direction, hence it will be I. Therefore total magnetic field due to R, and this one will be 2R and this one will be 3R. Hence magnetic field, total magnetic field B will be equal to mu naught upon 4 pi. Okay, and the current is going to be same, therefore I is also constant, 1 upon R. Now this for the second one, minus, and distance R. Okay, distance is 2R, hence minus 1 upon 2R. The third one is again anti-clockwise direction due to this 1 upon 3R and angle theta. Now take the LCM of these values. The LCM is 6, hence B is equal to mu naught upon 4 pi I. 6 means 6 minus 3 plus 2 divided by 6R into theta, hence 6 8 minus 3 5 by, therefore the correct answer 5 mu naught I divided by 24 pi R into theta. Now here is the correct answer, 5 mu naught I theta upon 24 pi R. Correct answer is A. Identify the correct statement among the following. What is given? That cyclotron frequency is independent on speed of the charged particle. So cyclotron speed, therefore the speed of the cyclotron can be defined as V is equal to QRB upon M. V is equal to QRB upon M. So what is saying? First thing, cyclotron frequency is dependent on speed of the charged particle. So here you can see this is not dependent upon the charged particle, it is independent, therefore the first one is incorrect. Now moving the next, kinetic energy of charged particle in cyclotron does not depend on its mass. So kinetic energy is inversely proportional to its mass, because you can see here kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. So if you will put this value, then you will get kinetic energy in the form of mass. Okay, now this one is also incorrect. The third one, cyclotron frequency does not depend on the speed of the charged particle. Here you can see this one is wrong, therefore the cyclotron frequency does not, frequency means n is equal to 1 upon t, and 1 upon t means v upon 2 pi r, and velocity is given that here you can say velocity is not dependent upon the charged particle, hence frequency is also not dependent upon the charged particle, therefore the correct answer is C. What we have in the next question? In the next question, a body is thrown up in a lift with a velocity 5 meter per second. So object is throwing in upward direction with velocity 5 meter per second. Here is given that V is equal to 5 meter per second. Relative to the left, relative to the lift means we have to subtract, and time flight is found to be 0.8 second. The acceleration which the lift is moving up, here is given that g is equal to 10 meter per second square. The first thing, that acceleration of the body with respect to lift, acceleration of the body with respect to lift, suppose that a dash, which will be equal to, in the opposite direction, is equal to minus g plus a. Okay, time of flight, will be equal to t is equal to 2u upon g sine theta, that is the perpendicular, hence g plus a. Okay, now equating all these terms, we will get a is equal to a is equal to 2u minus gt divided by t. Okay, you have all the values. 2 velocity 5 minus 10 t is equal to 0.8 divided by 0.8 will be equal to 2.5 meter per second square. 2.5 meter per second square. The correct answer is C. In the next question, question number 22, what is saying? A particle is projected at an angle of 60 degree above the horizontal with a speed of 10 meter per second. Okay, you can see that this is given that V cos theta and V is 10 cos 60 degree. After some time, the direction of velocity makes an angle 30 degree above the horizontal. The speed of the particle at that instant is. Okay, here you can say initially it was like this 60 degree, and after that it become 30 degree. Okay, in both cases velocity is going to remain. In both cases it is a case of conservation, therefore V cos 30 degree will be equal to V cos 60 degree. Hence V cos 30 degree, the value of the cos 30 degree will be equal to under root 3 by 2. Under root 3 by 2 into 10 into cos 60 degree, 1 by 2, 1 by 2, 1 by 2 cancel. Hence V is equal to 10 upon root 3. 10 upon root 3. D answer is correct. A packet of weight W is dropped with the help of a parachute and on striking the ground comes to rest with retardation equal to twice the acceleration due to gravity. The force exerted on the ground is. So first thing, if you want to calculate the force means mass into acceleration, and if you want to know mass means retardation due to that force minus retardation due to which? Due to weight. Therefore, it will be equal to mass into acceleration, and mass into acceleration means mass is equal to weight upon gravitational acceleration. Hence, F minus W yani weight W upon G into A. Okay. And what is saying that I think it is saying the twice acceleration becomes twice. Hence, A is equal to 2g. Therefore, F minus W is equal to W upon G into 2g. 2 cancel out. Hence, F is equal to 2W plus W will be equal to 3W. The correct answer is C. The rest of the part will be discussed in the part 2. Okay, thank you.